Before the video continues, I want to say thank you for the surprisingly good support that's been happening. This channel went from about 8 subscribers to 33 subscribers, and that is really cool. Also, the Scorched Earth video went from like being around 50-ish views to 1,900 views. So just thank you for all the crazy support. I just wanted to say that quickly before continuing on with the video, because like, as for like a very small channel, like that's really good, and I am really glad that people are actually enjoying the content somehow. So yeah. Anyway, back to the video, I guess. While flying around trying to find some more supply drops in order to loot, I noticed that this one area from the last episode where I raided some stuff, I noticed that there was a few new bags in the area. So naturally, I decided to check them out because I was kind of curious on what these were. So I opened the bag, and what the fuck? Well, that's pretty lucky to find. I wonder what else we're gonna find in here. Originally, I was gonna try and get a Giga. Well, we got the Giga now. After finding this Giga, naturally, I decided that it would be a good idea to test this thing out to see how powerful it is. And, not surprising, this thing is pretty freaking powerful. This thing basically one-shots the Velonosaurs. With the help of our new buddy here, I decided just to do all the missions for Velonosaur stock and also Shadow Man Prowl just to get those out the way. The old base that we had, while functional, definitely was not the best place of actually trying to be productive, so I decided that I was just going to move my base somewhere else. Now, I decided to pick this spot because this spot is basically exactly where my old base was when I originally played the Ark on the Xbox. This was a really nice spot that I was able to build a base in, and I decided that I was just going to do the same thing, just for PC instead. It may look a little crude right now and a little bit messy, but this will do for now. I would have shown off some more of the base building. It's just that it was incredibly boring to watch, and also incredibly boring to edit as well. I also needed a tech generator in order to power everything that's at the new base, so I just asked some guy on the server to craft me it, and yeah. So apparently I lost the footage of me building the rest of the base, but as you can see by the footage here, I basically just set everything up here. So I put in cryo fridges, I put in vaults, I got generators working, I got the incubators, I had some other stuff there, got the teleporter as well. I also got the Reaper King fully matured by this point. So yeah, wish I got most of this on camera though. What I did get on camera though was me building this new area over here off to the side. This was gonna be like a little Maywing area where I would use just to raise any baby creatures that I had in like a slightly safer environment. Since I was building a new Maywing area, I actually needed a few Maywings in order to actually use the area. So I just went around and I found a bunch of high level Maywings and I just decided to tame them up. I got 3 of them in the end. Don't know what was exactly happening here. Most likely it was AFK, but yeah, I don't really know what was happening here. Fun fact, these pillars get destroyed in 2 days. I wonder what I'm gonna do in 2 days. While waiting for those, I decided just to do Survive the Ark, and Survive the Ark on Gamma is relatively easy if you have a high movement speed, because you can do this with no armor whatsoever. I am only wearing the tech armor, and I'm still doing perfectly fine throughout this entire thing. The main thing you want to do is kind of just keep distance. You always want to have a ranged weapon that you can use. You just want to stay distant than anything else. You want to stay as far away from something as possible. I'd say that went pretty well. I also decided to do Code Red as well due to me having the Reaper now. Unfortunately, the image here is completely awful. Like, it is miserable. I think it's because I was screen sharing on Discord while recording as well, so that kind of affected it a lot. So all you really get is like this PowerPoint presentation here. Remember the things that were about to decay over somewhere on the ship? Well, they decayed, and naturally, these things are filled to the brim with element. I have no idea why these things were absolutely filled with it, but they were. So what I basically did is just I went around to every single area where all these bags were, and I just started collecting all of the element inside. I would have collected the shards, but the shards were just too heavy to carry, and I didn't have an exomech to convert all those shards into element. So all I was able to do was just look for the bags that were from the tech generator and just grab the element there. And we came out with a lot of element. Like a lot. Even more than the first batch. In order to continue with the rest of the base, I needed some dedicated boxes so I could actually start storing resources in. So I just kindly asked in chat to see if anybody would want to make me some. After a little bit of negotiation, somebody offered to trade me some dedicated boxes in return for a Maywing, which isn't the worst deal to think about. After a little bit of waiting, the guy came back. He gave me the dedicated boxes. I gave him the Maywing, and we went off our separate ways. At this point, I was a little bored, so I decided that I was just gonna do some more of the missions that I needed to do. More specifically, the knockout missions, where you had to go in a bunch of tranks and knock out a bunch of creatures. And that's what I did. So I started off with Prance around them, since that one is the easiest in my opinion. I don't mind the knockout missions. It's just that my main problem is that it feels like that they take too long and too much resources for them. It just feels like I'm just wasting my time, kind of just trying to slowly knock out all these creatures and then net them and all the other stuff. It's just really annoying. They're not bad missions, but it's just like a tedious thing to do. What also doesn't help is the fact that while doing this mission, all the parasaurs got stuck in someone's base. This was definitely a really amazing thing to happen, and in no way incredibly annoying to deal with, because now I just have to wait around for like a round for no apparent reason other than just bad luck. After that, I decided to try my luck in Bulbdog Fetch, which is probably the hardest mission out of all these. Not because not because of any other reason other than just the fact that these Bulbdogs are way too small, and their hitboxes are so unimaginably wacky. You just can't hit them. Like you'll shoot them directly in the head, and they act like nothing happened. So after trying for a little bit, I just wasn't able to get Bulbdog Fetch done, and so I sat there thinking, what could I possibly do? And that's when it hit me. Use a Mantis with clubs in order to knock out the Bulbdogs, because I have Ascendant clubs that I could use. All I needed was the Mantis. So I just went around finding rhinos and just killing them for their horns, since that's the only way that I can tame a Mantis. This took a lot longer than I would like to admit. Once I got everything ready, I decided just to go around and try and find a Mantis. And, unfortunately for me, I was incredibly lucky, since this game is cruel, it doesn't make things easy, and I just could not find a high-level Mantis at all. After looking around for what felt like an eternity, I finally found a Mantis and I began the taming process. Now, this is a passive tame, so, naturally, this is going to take about 20 years to complete. Now, I quite possibly did the dumbest thing that I could have done here, where instead of just flying over to the other side of the tech suit, I decided that my best bet would be to jump into the water, and naturally, I got grabbed by a Capro, and I just got completely mauled to death. Yeah, we don't talk about this. Naturally, I was pissed off, and I basically just quit immediately after that.